let's get to the business of what happened last night. What was it? Just they were thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, and then Gobert pops for coronavirus, and then it was all, there were no more options on the table except one. Is that how it worked?
Yeah. The decision was made for them, Rich. I mean, and I don't want to be overly critical here because this is really, really, it's not just a very difficult situation, but there's no map for any of this. There's no blueprint. The NBA seemed to be all over the map in recent days. Are they going to play games with no fans? Are they going to bow to local edicts from city officials? In San Francisco, when it became an outright ban, like, no, this is the law now, that we are ordering no gatherings, and the Warriors had no choice. Okay, we're going to play with no fans. Meanwhile, the Washington Wizards had only local D.C. officials saying, we don't want public gatherings, but they didn't make it the law. So the Wizards said, oh, well, then we'll keep playing with fans. So the NBA was all over the map, and the league did not come up with a cohesive universal policy for all 30 teams. And so in lieu of that, they were having to let teams just kind of make their own decisions based on local situations and whether or not local government was making it advice versus directive. And so while they're considering all these options and what should we do next, and can we get all our 30 teams on the same page, and clearly by the reporting that's out there, they were not all on the same page. And then this happens. Rudy Gobert happens, a positive test happens, and now the decision is made for you. Because as I'm sure you've explained to your listeners, it's really simple. Rudy Gobert being positive for the virus means you have to quarantine the entire Jazz team, and then you have to see who they played recently, and then who those teams played recently, and the referee crews. And referees crews change night to night. So somebody exposed to Rudy Gobert one night, that referee a couple nights later is working with a different crew, and now he's possibly exposing that crew. So the cascading effect means that you don't have a choice. At that point, you have to shut down the league and wait this thing out.
What is your reporting on how it was discovered that Gobert might have had coronavirus, since he apparently was not terribly symptomatic? What happened last night, based on what you could tell, Howard?
I wish I had that information, Rich. I wish I could have more to tell you on that. I honestly don't know. Information on that right now is pretty scant, pretty hard to come by, and probably for good reason. Look, there are already people around the league who I've been in contact with who are really upset about the fact that Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell's names have even been put out there at all as being tested positive, because they consider this a medical privacy matter, and people are sensitive about that. And I understand that. And so given that, I think there's, a lot that has still been insulated from us, and maybe properly so. What right do we have to know about the players and how they contracted it, or when, or whatever? I mean, certainly everybody they've come in contact with would want to know that, but we as the public, knowing it in the very public way that we do know it, it's created some backlash, and there are people around the league who are concerned for players' medical privacy rights right now. But I don't have any insight into how exactly this unfolded. It all happened so quickly last night. This stuff is all still very fresh.